power. And Billy Burns' speed in center field should have Athletics fans excited about what's in store for years to come. These young players are getting a chance to showcase their talents on an everyday basis, building confidence and learning every day. Tonight, the Green and Gold return home and take on two of the best players in all of baseball, Mike Trout and Albert Pujols. Coming up, it's the youth of the Athletics taking on the power duo from Southern California. A's and Angels next. Well, the A's are back at the Coliseum, and tonight they open up a 6-game homestand. The Angels are in town, so Billy Burns and the Athletics try to continue their winning ways after a good weekend in Phoenix, and we get to watch Mike Trout. He's always fun to watch, and Felix Dubron is going to make the start this afternoon, or make it tonight for the Athletics. So it's the first of 3. It's the A's and the Angels coming up on CSN California. Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Oakland A's baseball. Along with Ray Fosse, I'm Glenn Kuiper. 31 games left in the season for the Athletics, and Ray, these young guys that are playing for the A's, it's not really an audition anymore because I think we know they can play. Now it's just a matter of stay strong and play strong through the month of September, which you have to do as a big leaguer.
Absolutely. And I think if you look back to last year when the A's didn't use a rookie, this year we're going to highlight 3. These guys have done a great job. These young kids, this is a walk-off by Mark Canha on the recent homestand, but he's also doing a good job with his versatility, playing left field and playing first base. How about that pick there? And of course, this young man, Billy Burns, he's never seen a pitch that he doesn't like. Stealing bases, he's only going to get better and better. Makes some great catches in the outfield, robbing home runs. But you think about him, a rookie, and how well he's going to continue to do. Marcus Semien has improved dramatically at shortstop with his defense, and coming through yesterday with a game winner, a 2-out, 2-run single to right field. So Marcus Semien and the rest of the guys are doing a tremendous job. And Cap, I agree with you. They're going to get a chance to play in a month that many have never played before, and these kids get to do it for the Athletics.
Pitching matchup has a pair of lefties tonight, Felix Dubron, Hector Santiago. So Dubron, the foot feels good enough for him to go, and Santiago was an all-star this year.
And you think about Dubron, he's pitching tonight because in American League Park he does not have to hit. That was a concern in Phoenix for him, and that's why Bob Melvin decided to hold him back. So he's pitching for the Athletics and maybe pitching for a spot in the rotation. As far as Santiago, since he's joined the rotation against the Athletics, he's pitched very well. He knows how to pitch. He changes speeds very effectively. Should be a good matchup tonight with a couple of lefties.
All right, so the A's will try to get the homestand off on a winning note. Last time these two met, well, you got to go all the way back to the middle of June, and it is a struggling Angels team right now. We'll have lineups and first pitch when we come back to the Coliseum. It's the Oakland A's and the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim. Stick around.
by Jack in the Box. Get the new Steak and Egg Breakfast Burrito at Jack in the Box. It's not your basic breakfast burrito. By Toyota, the full-line automaker with the longest-lasting vehicles in America. Toyota, let's go places. And by Black Bear Diner. Feed your inner bear.
So Felix Dubron and the Athletics take the field, and it's the first of three. It's an AL Western Division battle between the A's and the Angels. Game time weather presented by the Santa Cruz Beach Boardwalk. Get to the beach. The admission-free boardwalk is now open daily. Nice night, 70 degrees as it is the final day of August. So we're glad to be back at the Coliseum. The field looks pretty good, and we're set for baseball. Let's look at the lineup tonight for the Angels. It starts with Cole Calhoun and then Mike Trout, Albert Pujols, C.J. Cron will DH, Eric Ibar, Shane Victorino, Chris Iannetta, Caleb Cowart, and Grant Green. There's the Angels lineup.
Felix Dubron started against the Mariners on the recent road trip. Had a ball hit off his right foot by Robinson Cano. Pitched 2 innings, and while he did not pick up the win, the Athletics had a chance to come from behind to win the game and also give a bullpen a chance to pitch a lot. And pitch well they did, but Dubron pitching well for the Athletics, 1-1 on the season. And of course he has had some experience pitching against this Angels club, and see how he does tonight in the opener of this homestand.
Defensively for the Athletics, Smolinski's in left, Burns in center, and then Reddick in right. Valencia, Simeon, Laurie, and Canna on the infield, and Fegley is your catcher. So Felix Dubron wraps up the warm-up tosses. Fegley throws it down, and we're set for baseball. So good to see Dubron back out there. This is what happened on Monday in Seattle. His right foot.
Well, you can hear the thud all the way over to the first base foul line, and as he said, hit on the side, but he felt the pain on top of his foot, and that's the reason Bob Melvin made the decision not to pitch him in Phoenix, because he didn't have to swing the bat and run the bases, and tonight he can just concentrate on landing on that right foot.
First pitch of the game is a fastball at the knees for a strike to Cole Calhoun. So a couple of starts with the A's for Dubron. First one against the Dodgers when he pitched well. And then that last start in Seattle where he went just the 2 innings, and that's a swing, so it's 0-2. To a couple of lefties tonight, Dubron and Santiago.
Top of the batting order for the Angels with home runs 20, 33, 34, and Calhoun, Trout, and Pujols leading off the top 3. This batting order pretty impressive, considering Mike Scioscia trying to get on the board early with those 3 at the top. It's the MVP of last year, Mike Trout, although as we talked, this might be changed with Josh Donaldson playing so well. Albert Pujols continues to hit the long ball.
Good curve by Dubron, and Calhoun strikes out, and that's how this ball game gets underway. So 1 out here in the first, and
batting in the second position.
Got a hard slide of the check swing, then a big curveball on a full swing, and must have foul tipped it. I don't know, because Josh Fegley showed the home plate umpire that he had the ball. Either that, or maybe to show that he caught it and didn't have to tag him with the ball bouncing. Probably the latter.
Exmo brought to you by Cache Creek Casino Resort. So here is Trout. First pitch is a fastball first strike. Trout 298, 33 home runs, and 74 RBIs.
Hard to believe, and seeing that number, the BA 298, under 300. He's a perennial 300-plus hitter, and home runs batted in. He's had some tough times lately, as most of the Angels have.
Jim Joyce. You'll hear him tonight. He's the crew chief, and he's the home plate umpire tonight. Been a good one from Dubron, and it's 1-2 to Trout with Pujols waiting in the on-deck circle, just underway from the Coliseum.
Now the curveball is working great. Struck out Calhoun, and the big sweeping curveball to Mike Trout. I wonder if Matt Weiss, who takes care of the umpires, has a bag of Ricolas in Jim Joyce's locker after he's behind the plate.
Down and in. So 2-2 to Mike Trout. changeup that stayed high. First one Dubron has thrown in this game. So full count.
Cap, we can tell it's the end of August as there are no sun in right field.
Nope,
that's how quickly it has changed. The field is completely in the shade and the shadows, or shade in general, and no sun.
Trout with a big rip.
And since those lines are on the field, we know what time of the year it is. Josh Reddick is out in right field. Normally he's in the sun this time of the game, at least earlier in the season, mid-season. Rod at the 50. Right on the mound. That mound is taken out by Clay Wood and his crew before football is played, and then it's placed back in. It does not to tear it down. It's on a platform.
Up and away, and Trout with a walk. A football game last night, which kicked off about 5:15. So, good folks that
batting in the third,
the transformation from football to baseball, they did not have a lot of time, and they did a heck of a job. And it was not a situation where they were those guys, they need some sleep. But we've been here, Ray, where they're putting up the outfield wall at 5 o'clock, but it was all ready to go when I got here at 3:30. Just watering down the field. Pujols takes outside from Dubron.
Well, the Angels have not been running as much as we have seen them in the past, and of course Josh Phegley can control the running game. Albert Pujols more of that home run batted in. The 35 mark is something he's done pretty consistently throughout his career.
34 and 75 so far this year for Albert Pujols. He has 554 career home runs.
Mike Scioscia, the long-time manager of the Angels. Mike Butcher to his left. It's Raymond behind him, as always, in the picture.
Missed again. Now 3-0. C.J. Cron, another right-handed hitter, would be next.
Well, he's hitting cleanup with 10 home runs. If you break down on this lineup in thirds, then it's okay, because there's not a lot of home runs after C.J. Cron, the last one in double figures, the rest of the lineup.
And Pujols takes, I guess, a little outside. A couple of one-out walks here in the first.
Well, that's surprising he took off as quickly as he did. That looked like a decent pitch, even though it might have been off the plate. Looked like the height was okay.
Batting in the fourth position.
Two power hitters combined at 67 home runs between the two, both walking, and yeah. Jim Joyce, no, he did not think it was low, and I think Albert Pujols might have sold it too by taking off quickly to first base.
That was a sell job. Yeah, you're right. But it was also a 3-0 pitch that was pretty darn close, and generally those are called strikes. That one is a strike. C.J. Cron, 276, 10 homers, 29 RBIs.
It's not often you pitch around two guys or walk them to get the fourth place hitter, but after pitching to Calhoun and nothing close to Trout and Pujols, and then a perfect strike to Cron. I think that is that those two guys run. We're going to go to second because Pujols does not run as fast as Mike Trout. We'll let Trout steal third, but if they both run, which I doubt they are, but at least that sign from Phegley was to throw to second in the event of a double steal attempt.
0-1 to Cron. Eric Ibar will be next. And there's a shot into the seats, foul, and it's 0-2. Last time these two teams met was June 18th, 19th, and 20th. Seems like a long time, and it has been a long time.
I thought you were going to say June 18, 1999. Yeah, it's been a while.
They were in a much better spot in June than they are right now. In the air and hit pretty well. Smolinski gets back, and he's near the wall, and he's got just enough room, and he makes the catch. Smolinski thought he was right up against the fence. He actually had a couple more feet, but he made the play anyway.
I'm shocked the ball carried as well as it did, considering it looked like it was on the ground.
Batting in the fifth
This
position.
curveball down and kind of a one-handed swing by C.J. Cron. This young man is strong to be able to hit a curveball. I thought it was going to be a routine fly ball. It just kept carrying, and warning track 3 steps. We didn't take the 3rd step. Actually didn't take the 2nd. Warning track usually have 3 steps. And that's why a big smile on Smolinski's face. Mike Trout thought maybe it was going to land. He did not want to go back and tag if it was going to be a ball that dropped so he could score. Pujols was at 2nd, able to get back. So a big out for Felix DeBron.
And here's Ibar, the switch hitter. And the first pitch is a fastball on the outside corner. Ibar 273, couple of home runs and 36 RBIs. And there's base hit center field. And here comes Trout. And Burns' throw will come back in. It's cut off, and the Angels lead 1-0. So Ibar, and I say this every time, right?
Oh, yeah.
He's tough on the A's.
Always is.
Yeah.
Well, for the Angels, they have to be pretty excited to score a run on a 2-out hit, and that's what
Batting in the sixth
Ibar
position,
does with a
left fielder.
little slider, a little cutter maybe, but up the middle. And at that point, with Trout speed and 2 outs, Billy Burns just catch the ball. With this outfield being the way it is, we want to make sure you don't charge too quickly, especially with the speed of Trout scoring easily.
Highest batting average here at the Coliseum. Eric Ibar 339, 6th best. And he gets a big hit here early, and here's Victorino, another switch hitter. So back-to-back switch hitters in this Angels lineup. Victorino was acquired on the 27th of July, coming over from the Red Sox. Good changeup there by DuPont.
Well, Victorino lifted the leg-looking fastball, swung at what he thought was going to be a fastball, but was not. Angels have been trying. They've used a lot of different players, trying to get the right formula. Some guys at the top will not change.
That's a take, and it's an Angels record that is at 65-65. They're struggling. They're 3.5 games behind the Rangers for the 2nd wild card, and they're 6.5 behind the Astros in the division. So the record at 500, and they are not playing well as of late. Simeon dives, cannot quite get it, and they'll hold Pujols as Smolinski fires it in. So the bases are loaded with 2 outs. And it'll be Chris Iannetta. The month of August, and that is hard to explain. They're 10-18, but last in runs, last in average. ERA almost 5, the most error. I mean, everything has gone wrong for them in this month of August.
Don't they know this is still August 31st? Because they're swinging the bats in this first inning like they had normally been doing it against the Athletics. Remember, DeBron struck out Calhoun on 4 pitches. Now he's trying to avoid a big inning. Already 1 run to score with 2 outs.
Well, the Angels are on a 9-game road trip. They just got swept in Cleveland. They have lost 8 out of their last 10. (1-0) to Iannetta. That's a strike. You mentioned it in the pregame show. In their last 36 games, the Angels are 11-25. So that number, those numbers right there, well, it tells you what's going on with the Angels, and I got to believe they're scratching their heads a little bit. So 1-2 now to Iannetta.
A pretty good pitch for Iannetta to hit. Again, Dubron has a good changeup he likes to throw. Also a split finger fastball. That might be a pitch he does not use with runner third. But Fegley has always a good job of blocking balls in the dirt.
Two pitches hit hard but foul.
The curveball to the right-handers is a pitch that looks like it's pretty inviting.
Yeah, they're getting pretty good swings out of it. So 28 pitches by Dubron here in the first inning. A run in. Strike three called, and Dubron gets out of it with just the one run. Scoring, and that came on the Ibar RBI hit. Bottom of the first coming up. 1-0 Angels lead. Loaded at the top of the first. Here's the ace line. Burns, Canalori, Valencia, Fegley, Smolinski, Butler, Reddick, and Simeon.
Yeah, the A's are seeing Hector Santiago. They know what they'll see from him, as they have seen him a couple of times already this year. Total of 14 strikeouts in the 2 starts. On the season, 7-8 with a 3+ earned run average. Strikeouts almost 3-1, but Santiago will feature an assortment of pitches. And he has turned out to be a very good starter in this rotation for the Angels.
At the All-Star break, he was 6-4 with a 2.33 ERA, and that got him a nod to the All-Star game. Has not pitched well in the second half. First pitch to Burns, a swing and a miss.
On a changeup, first pitch. They've got the scouting report on Burnsy. But you know, the difference there is that instead of being a 4-seam fastball, which a lot of pitchers do, he threw the same pitch like a fastball, but it was a changeup. Herky-jerky delivery from Santiago, able to utilize that for a little deception.
Here's the numbers after the All-Star break. 1-4 with a 5.23 ERA. So foul tip, and it's 1-2. Burns 297, 3 home runs, 31 RBIs, was 4 for 14 over the weekend in the Arizona series, and he's going to lead off the bottom of the first with a hit. And Burns, big turn, and then he stops. So Burns with a leadoff single.
Well, even with 2 strikes, always aggressive Billy Burns, and maybe a mistake made by Santiago. And then one a little bit outside and down. He left it up and in, and Burns thought about it. Victorino has always been a good outfielder. That large right field at Fenway Park, it was excellent. Center field, of course, with the Phillies, but now in left, at a position that the Angels have been looking for somebody all season. But Josh Hamilton was supposed to be there. That didn't work out. They have gone through a number of left field.
Well, in a 24-hour period, Ray, they acquired Victorino, David Murphy, and David DeJesus.
Right.
And I think all with the thought of play left field. Right before the trade deadline, they acquired those 3 guys. A 2-day period.
Former Cleveland, former Tampa Bay Ray, Murphy. Mr. Jesus, a former Athletic. But I asked him, you know, his hair was growing. I said, "Is Tampa?" I said, "David, what's the hair?" He says, "Well, I'm going to California." I said, "You knew you were going to be traded to the Angels." But he was, and he's there, not playing a lot, but always got a smile on his face. We saw that with the A's.
So 0-1 to Mark Canha.
Time that Santiago is taking, thrown over to first base a couple of times. This is probably the first time that we've seen Mark Canha have to wait a long time because of Burns being at first base. And that's adjustment for a hitter, because he will have balls thrown, pitches thrown over to first base. You'll see a pitcher, as Santiago did, delay his release to the plate.
And Canha chased a high fastball. So out number 1 here in the bottom of the first. Quick look at the defense for the Angels. Victorino, Trout, and Calhoun. So a pretty good outfield. Howard, Ibar, Green, and Pujols on the infield with Iannetta doing the catching. It sounded like the Angels thought maybe they'd get David Freese back to play third base. He's been out for a while, but he is not back yet. There's Grant Green.
He's rehabbing. He will be back relatively soon. They expect him back sooner or later.
So 0-1 to Laurie. Laurie hitting in the 3rd spot tonight, playing second base. Burns trying to get a read on the lefty Santiago.
You see Brett Laurie back in the lineup tonight. He was in the lineup yesterday, but had to scratch because of some tightness, stiffness, trying to get loose. But even after a relatively short flight back from Phoenix, unlike the 6-hour flight from the East Coast, he was able to play tonight.
Not running. Fastball at 90 miles an hour, but called the ball. Santiago looked in on extra second, thought it was a strike. Laurie, 13 home runs and 52 RBIs. On deck is Danny Valencia. Ricky Anderson's in the house tonight. So he's looking at one guy right now. You know who that is? Well, he may be looking at Burns and the pitcher.
Right. He's got them both in sight, so he can watch both of them, but definitely he's watching Billy Burns. But he also knows that when the big head is run, Ricky better win. Because Ricky in the house. It's got to be thrilling for Billy Burns to know that the all-time base stealer is watching him.
And a 1-2 pitch, a fastball up and away, just like the pitch to Canha, and Laurie swings and misses. So 2 outs in Valencia.
Batting in the 4th position, third baseman.
Yeah, front foot, front leg. He's able really to throw to first or to the plate, and for some reason back-to-back strikeouts after a Burns 2-strike hit. Santiago has kept Burns close enough that he's not attempted to run.
Valencia, .296 with 12 home runs. Keeping a close eye on Burns with his 25 stolen bases. Altuve leads the American League in steals with 34. Lorenzo Cain has 26. Burns has 25.
Nice thing about Ricky Henderson watching Santiago, he can talk to Billy Burns when he gets back to the dugout and maybe ask him, what did you see in his delivery to the plate?
There's that fastball again. It must have some run to it, Ray, that fastball moving away from these right-handed hitters.
You think back to Pomeranz Saturday night in Phoenix against the Diamondbacks. See where Iannetta set up, similar to what Stephen Vogt was doing with Pomeranz and setting up inside, the fastball outside, but you saw the swing and misses.
And that one a strike, 91 miles an hour. Lowest opponent's average against the fastball. 210 the league's hitting against the old number 1 for Hector Santiago. We've certainly seen that in this inning. He's got good life to his fastball. Foul just below us.
Burns got a first pitch changeup and might have gotten something off speed that he singled to left field with 2 strikes. But he's still at first base, and sometimes we will see Billy Burns at first and say, you know, why didn't he run? I wonder if Ricky asked him. It's a different question coming from Ricky, because Ricky always has said, don't ever be afraid of getting caught stealing or being picked off at first base.
There's a line drive, and Victorino grabs it. Side retired. Cannot hit it much harder than that. So Burns with the leadoff single, and that's all the A's get in the first. A little bit more about the Angels and their struggles. That's the last time they were in first place, July 28th. 10-21 since then, and now they're sitting in third place. Pitching has not been good, and even Mike Trout is struggling. Just 2 home runs in his last 30 games, and Albert Pujols his last 29 games, just a .205 batting average. So if those 2 guys are struggling, and then you know it's tough times for the Angels, team that won 98 games last year and won the AL West by 10 games over the A's. So they still have time, but they're just not playing well. So July 22nd, they had a 2-game lead over the Astros, 9 over the Rangers, and today, third place. Brown reaches up, he grabs it. Caleb Howard is in time.
Well, since the A's last saw the Angels, they have had Gillespie from the Chicago White Sox, who was playing third. He's designated, so now Coward is at third base. Of course, they are waiting for David Freese to come back, and probably like to see him sooner than later. former Athletic, and that is Grant Green, traded for Alberto Callaspo.
First pitch to Green is low. .205 for Grant Green. With 8 hits in 39 at bats. Nice play by Valencia. Ball took a little bit of a tricky hop, and Green is out on a close play. Ball came up on Valencia, and he stayed with it on the backhand.
Well, it was, and just down the line, and right there is when it took the hop.
Number 56.
Remember that area just inside where the football playing field is. So Clay Wood on the dirt part has done a very good job. So there's no problem there. And that's played by Valencia, taking a double, at least a double away from Grant Green.
So 2 away, and here's Calhoun. So after a lot of pitches in that first inning, Dubron would love to have a 3-up, 3-down second inning. Calhoun swinging to lead off the game. Calhoun with those 20 home runs.
From the A standpoint, one of the biggest was against Jesse Chavez down in Anaheim. A first start for Jesse of this 2015 season, and fastball did not move back enough.
High in the air to center field, but room for Burns. And he's got it, and that is a 3-up, 3-down inning for Dubron. Bottom of the second, coming up 1-0 Angels. By PG&E, together building a better California. Nice night in Oakland with the Angels in town. 1-0 lead for the Angels. A night game tomorrow night, and then a day game on Wednesday. And then the A's will have a home off day, which is always nice. That'll be Thursday. First pitch to Fegley is outside.
A change up first pitch, as he did to Billy Burns. Fegley took it though.
First strike, 1-1 the count. So the Mariners this weekend, and then next week the Astros. So it's a 9-game homestand for the A's. So it'll be homestand, and then the 10-game road trip, and then home for 6, and then on the road for 6, and that's it. The month of September.
I'd like to see a different club this weekend with the Mariners. Of course, they have a new general manager, and making some changes as well.
3-2 now to Figley. Smolinski to follow, and then Butler here in the second inning. There it is. High fastball up and away, and that's the third strikeout for the Angels. Ray, speaking of the Seattle Mariners, and of course they're having a disappointing season. They're 61-70. They traded Austin Jackson today to the Chicago Cubs. Player name later in a possible international slot, which is to really just kind of saving yourself a little money there. Let the other team have some money to spend on an international prospect. But Austin Jackson goes from the Mariners to the Cubs. And right now, if you want to make a trade, obviously you can do it. You got to get the guy through waivers, but you want to do it by 9 o'clock. So that's an hour and 15 minutes. And I say that because if you acquire a player and you want him to be on your postseason roster, you have to acquire him and have him on your roster by August 31st. So
that being today, and that being midnight Eastern time.
Pop-up foul. So the Cubs a real good chance to head to postseason, and they had a speedy outfielder, and Johnny Gomes is on the move again. He is now a Kansas City Royal. How about that?
Well, they always find a way, or Johnny always finds a way to get on a club that's going to postseason, and we saw that when he was with the Athletics, and he is a great clubhouse leader. It's amazing how some guys, and we know Johnny Gomes, he is very, very good in the clubhouse, on the bench, and sometimes those players are just as valuable, especially for a team going down the stretch and trying to win.
Not a bad club to go to. The Royals with the best record in the American League at 80-50. So Johnny Gomes from the Braves to the Royals. And those are the only two trades so far. You may get a couple more. Let's see.
That amazing is you're sitting at the club and you're thinking, okay, October the 4th is the final game of the regular season. Start planning my vacation for the 5th, and then all of a sudden goes to a contending team, a team going to postseason, and times change quickly.
Very close, and it's 2-2. One thing Santiago does, Ray, and we've seen it a lot, he throws a lot of pitches, and he doesn't always pitch deep into the game. It's something that he's probably going to need to get a little bit better at if he wants to go to the next level. He's got good stuff. The A's are seeing it tonight, but a lot of times, Ray, you'll see him after 5 innings, he'll have 85 pitches.
Batting in the 7th position.
Now this fastball is supposed to be inside, was outside, and that's Jim Joyce, the veteran umpire, realizing the pitch is a strike, even though location where Inetta wanted it. There it is, second highest the big leagues, and 2 starts against the A's, total of 11 2/3 innings.
I think I'm just looking. 7 1/3 innings is the most he has thrown this year. He's coming off a start where he threw 4 1/3 innings and 105 pitches. That was in Detroit, and he got knocked around. Part of it is he's a strikeout guy, but he also walks a lot of guys. Coming into tonight, 51 walks in 149 innings.
So you say one of those guys, you stay close, you have a chance to win.
That's probably true. Or you get to their bullpen.
Yeah. But typically, a fastball pitcher, a pitcher with a good fastball, would not throw as many strikes or as many pitches out of the strike zone, because I think if he's going to be around the plate, he might get swing and misses, but good fastball also will be put in play a lot more often.
2's fouled straight back. Billy Butler faced Santiago earlier this year, and he homered off him. 1 of 9 on the year for Butler.
Who's that guy, Ross?
Cody Ross. Now 2-2 to Butler. 9 home runs, 48 RBIs for Butler.
One of the games that, well, he pitched 2 games Santiago did this year. One of them he had first and third, 1 out, and faced Ross and Gentry and got out of the inning without giving up a run.
This one is toward Calhoun. Gets near the line, makes the catch, and that's a 3-up, 3-down inning for Hector Santiago. 3rd inning coming up, 1-0 Angels.
Celebrating 13 years. Watch every out-of-market game live or on demand in True HD on over 400 mobile and connected devices. Real-time highlights, live bookings, pitch tracking widget, and more every night on every device. Blackout and other restrictions apply. Visit MLB.tv for details.
3rd inning from the Coliseum. Trout, Pujols, and C.J. Cron. Felix Dubron had lots of trouble in the 1st inning, but a 3-up, 3-down inning in the 2nd.
Let's say he just got it out of the system early and hope that's it, because he pitched well last inning. Went from 30 pitches to just 7 in his last, 29 and 7.
Trout walked and scored in the 1st. Trout with his 33 home runs.
One thing the outfielders on both teams really had to do before tonight's ball game is check the outfield. Considering there was a football game played here, you can see towards center field. The bleachers are set up in center field. It's a pretty good idea, although no batting practice, and it's tough to take balls off the bat to see how they're going to react. That seems to be very low cut grass, which means it could be quick. Again, Clay Wood, what a great job. If you catch them napping down in their little area beyond the dugout, you can understand why.
It's allowed. So Trout is retired. 1 out here in the top of the 3rd.
Pretty good idea with his speed to field your position. That's what Dubron did perfectly, following through. So that he could handle the ground ball up the middle.
So 1 away for Pujols. Pujols also walked in the 1st inning. Now 35 years old. This is as healthy as he's looked in a year or so. Last year he wasn't moving as well as he is this year, and it's showing up with his 34 home runs.
All right, Gary DeSarcina, the former Angel third base coach, now with Victorino's 2-out base hit to left field, and Albert could not score from second.
Up the middle, diving play. Laurie, throw to first, and not in time. Heck of a play by Laurie, but Pujols beat it out. So a 1-out hit.
Well, what a play by Brett Laurie. Again, a ball that scooted past Dubron, and Laurie got it, did not have it initially, and then threw it. Nice play by Canna at first, and he had one hoping for the out. Laurie actually stopped it with his right hand. Great shot there as he got under his glove, and then a quick throw. Canna with a
wow. We want to check this one, boys.
That was a heck of a play.
Let's see if he's out or safe. He's out.
As heel was on the ground, this toe, and like Kirby Danley went with Albert Pujols.
0-2 now. Oh, hit a fly ball to left field in the first inning to the warning track. Now 1-2. Ibar to follow. Reach for, poke to right, and that's going to get down for a hit right along the line. Pujols will head around to third, and he'll just make it. So Crone just kind of reached for it and blooped it down the right field line. First and third, 1 out.
Outside, he went the direction of breaking ball and might have been a foot off the plate, but still extended. Another breaking ball, and this one not as good as the one in the first inning, but that was an out. This is a base hit, and Pujols reading it perfectly and had to hurry to third base because of the outstanding arm by Josh Reddick. And now this guy again. Crone at first, but Ibar to the plate, and tough guy to double up, and tough guy to get out in general.
Slapped a single into center field and not going to run. And that one's driven toward right. Tagging up his Pujols. Here he comes. Reddick's throw is up the line, and it rolls toward the A's dugout. Dubron is backing it up. So Pujols scores. It's a sacrifice fly for Ibar.
Well, as soon as Reddick caught the ball, C.J. Crone immediately headed to second base, and well, Josh Reddick has a strong arm,
number 18,
even with Albert Pujols, and
Victorino.
Crone is headed to second base, and C.J. Crone, and he kind of hesitated, but once he saw the ball going towards the plate, he made it easily in the second. Sometimes you can throw too well, and you think you can throw out anybody. Pujols doesn't run that well, but the ball just hit too deep to throw him out at the plate.
So here's Victorino, runner in scoring position, and the first pitch is low. A couple of hits and a sac fly. Victorino had a base hit in the first inning. He was in the World Series 2013 where Victorino, he's a switch hitter, but he just batted right-handed, and he hit a grand slam against a right-handed pitcher.
Sort of a slow curve.
Right.
Not too smart.
Two and 0. And now 3 and 0. Iannetta, right-handed hitting catcher, will be next. There's no run in here for the Angels.
I would venture to say he's got green light because Victorino, pretty good hitter, and Mike Scioscia likes to give the green light. Chris Iannetta, strikeout victim in the first inning.
Outfield pretty straight away. Infield defense straight away as well. And there's a line drive right field base hit. And they will hold Cron as Reddick gets to it quickly. He'll throw to second. So probably a good move by Gary DiSarcina, as Cron does not run real well and Reddick has the terrific arm.
3 opposite field hits in this inning. Pretty good hitting by the Angels, starting with Pujols, questionable at first base, but no challenge. He was safe, and then Cron, broken bat base hit to right field. Now with 3-1 count, Victorino to the right side.
So 5 hits off Dubron already in this game. And
kind of interesting that Cron threw up his arm, his hands like, but yeah, the ball's right to the right field. He's got a pretty good arm. Cron busting to third base and looked back, and that could have maybe didn't know where the ball was.
Now batting, number 17,
definitely held him, which was a smart idea.
Iannetta.
So as was the case in the first inning, Pujols was held on Victorino's base hit, but no different this time. Trying to get this 2-out hit. Iannetta could not do it in the first.
Iannetta struck out looking. In the dirt. Fegley takes care of it. .54 pitches for Dubron. Busy first, easy second, busy third for the A's left-hander. Little outside, 2-0. Now Dubron finally gets what he likes and delivers, and it's a swing and a miss. 87 miles an hour.
That's a slider and a pretty good one, and shook to it, and maybe he wanted to throw the fastball, but kept shaking until Fegley went to the slider. Remember when Dubron pitched against the A's as a member of the Blue Jays, he did not have a very quick move to the plate. So Martin was trying to hurry every throw that he made. With the A's, a little bit different story. He's had a better delivery and quicker to the plate.
Russell Martin wanted a little help. Runner goes, and it's a swing and a miss. The throw through, safe at second, and Cron comes in to score.
You've got to watch the Angels, because if you don't look him back, and he didn't, he threw through to second base, and as soon as Fegley lifted his arm, if he had looked to third, he would have gotten Cron, because Cron came down the line as soon as Fegley lifted his arm. Watch the runner at third base. Fegley comes up. See that? He's got no chance, and Victorino got the steal at second, but Cron, as he did with Reddick throwing to the plate, this time he could walk home.
Well, that's about the way you execute it, but you could also, like what you said, this is what you need to do to make sure that doesn't happen.
Well, you have to look back. I mean, just look at him, stop him, and then if you're going to throw, go ahead, but you have to stop him first.
So Iannetta strikes out, but a couple of runs for the Angels. They lead 3-0. Your strongest fan photo. Use hashtag CSNCA DataStrongFan and you just might see yourself in an upcoming broadcast. It's brought to you by T-Mobile. Bottom of the third, A's trailing 3-0 to the Angels. It's a pretty look at the Port of Oakland. Some dark clouds coming in. So some dark clouds in Arizona while we were down there.
As we were leaving.
Think about the very, very hot weather in Arizona, but Saturday night it was lightning, and then when we were getting ready to fly out, it was getting very dark. It felt like we got out of there about the right time.
I guess on Thursday at 4 o'clock they closed the airport, Phoenix Sky Harbor, because of lightning. Some of the scribes just getting in time before they closed it.
Santiago now with a 3-0 lead, looking for a shutdown inning. And the count 1-2 to Reddick. Reddick, Simeon, and Burns here in the bottom of the third. Reddick at 279, 15 home runs, 66 RBIs. Fastball, maybe just a little out. 2-2 the count. Santiago with that crossfire where he really throws across his body. Not an easy at bat for a left-hander hitting.
And really only one in the lineup, one true left-hander. Reddick takes a lot of pride in his at bats against lefties, and usually tries to wait as long as possible. See if he throws a breaking ball.
Well, we're going to spend a little time watching Santiago, and it's pretty interesting that see the crossover, but not only is it a crossover, Ray, but his foot is pointing.
Yeah,
I mean, it's probably pointing almost at his own dugout. Good effort by Victorino.
Yeah, you can see the mark.
But you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Where not only is it a crossover, but then his foot too.
Yeah, he's going to come right at you with the foot, and the mark in there is really, and that's probably why it's a pretty good move to first base, or at least holds the runners and does not give him much of a chance to run, because it looks like he is throwing to first on every pitch, even with the runner.
Reddick rips one right field. Calhoun will play it off the wall. He does. He's got a good arm. He gets it back in quickly, but Reddick's got a double. So that is a good at-bat by Reddick against a tough left-hander. He's gotten a lot better against lefties since the All-Star break.
Well, once he got to 3-2, Santiago hit fastballs, and especially that one inside, where Reddick was fouling balls the left side. And good thing Victorino could not catch the previous foul ball near the A's bullpen. And this one, no chance for Calhoun except to play it off the wall. Reddick knew it was not elevated enough for a home run, so he had to hurry for two, and he did it easily.
So Semien steps in. Second hit for the A's. That one on the inside corner.
Well, Roger Reddick with the pitch down and in. He'd been thinking away, and then down and in just brings the hands in. And a bullet over the head of Calhoun. He's had some great at bats this season. It's fun to watch his spraying of his hits all over the field.
So 1-1 the count. Semien 253 with 11 home runs and 34 RBIs. In there for strike 1 and 2.
Brad Ziegler yesterday. The A's, all these hits coming against Ziegler in the extra innings, and a big 2-out hit to right field, scoring Valencia and Stephen Vogt. Marcus Semien, 2 runs batted in, giving him 34 in the season.
Stayed away with off speed. Grant Green sneaking over toward Reddick a little bit. Broken back grounder to Cowart, who throws in time, and that's the first out. So Semien cannot get Reddick over.
And it went soft, and with a couple of strikes, Semien out in front and pulled the ball. You're right, it sounded like it cracked his bat. And trying to hit the ball to the right side and could not do it. Did not really get a pitch to be able to do it.
Top of the order, and Burns, who singled leading off the bottom of the first. Trying to knock in a run here. Infield straight up, in on the corners. Outfield shallow. It's driven towards center. Trout digging back, still going back, and Trout makes the catch. Gets it back in with Reddick going to third, stopping there. Now, Trout was playing shallow, but the ball was hanging up, and he had time to get back there.
Some of the spectacular plays he's made throughout his young career. This is really nothing. And the game was ended in recently, that series you're talking about, when Trout went up against the wall, the ball hit by Ike Davis of Houston Street, the bases loaded. But this is why and Marcus Semien was trying to advance Josh Reddick, because figure with 1 out, that's a sac fly scoring Reddick, but with runner at second base, a little bit different story.
So up to Canna. Canna struck out swinging. 4 strikeouts for Santiago. Using that high fastball to get the right-handed hitters. Laurie in the on-deck circle. And it's a 4-pitch walk. So that's the first walk by Santiago. So 2 on, 2 out.
And that was not intentional either. I think it was pitching around. He just is all over the place. Concern here is a first pitch changeup after missing batted with 4 fastballs. Mike Butcher's going to pay a little attention and go visit with his right-hander or left-hander and think about the pitches to Brett Lawrie. And against Santiago down in Anaheim, and these two guys are hitting back-to-back. Brett Lawrie, home run, cut a fastball inside into the bullpen, and the very next batter before Brett Lawrie could get in the dugout and go through the tunnel, Josh Phegley did the same thing. Both to left field, and I'd like to see something similar here with Brett Lawrie.
So the A's need a 2-out hit from Lawrie, who struck out in the first. So 56 pitches already for Hector Santiago. And that one not close. And this will happen to him occasionally.
Yep.
Right?
And that's why you have to be disciplined as a hitter. And Socha giving the signs to his catcher as far as the first and third. You're right, that's 5, really not even close. Discipline, you expect a fastball and then unload on it.
2-0. 6 straight out of the strike zone.
I might have to try to change it just to break it up a little bit.
And that one's not close. So he's really missing by a good 6 inches to a foot off the plate.
That's 7 consecutive out of the strike zone. And while you'd like to think green light, you might get a pitch to hit the green light.
22 pitches this inning and more balls than strikes.
3-2 to Reddick. Fouled off 3 with 2 strikes, then the base hit, and then Burns, of course, not surprising, 1 pitch flew out to center field.
So pitch number 60 coming up for Hector Santiago, and here it is. And that one's outside, and it's another walk. Valencia will hit. Valencia hit a rocket in the first inning right at the left fielder Victorino.
Mike Butcher just gave a sign. He just took his right hand and went up and down, which means set up in the middle of the plate pretty much, which right down the middle, because that's all you can do at this point, because it's tough to go to the corners, and Iannetta knows as a catcher you don't want to set in the middle of the plate, but you almost have to.
Reddick at third, Canna at second, and Lawrie at first. First pitch is a fastball out over the plate, and it was a good pitch to hit.
Yep.
And Valencia had a good swing.
Well, after 8 consecutive, fastball down the middle, and that's what the sign was for Mike Butcher, then he did it. And lucky that Valencia didn't hit a slant.
Outside, 1-1. Almost looks like he doesn't have a feel for anything right now. It happened quickly. There's a fair ball down the third base line. 1 run scores. 2 runs score. Here comes Lawrie, and they're going to hold him up at third. And it's now a 3-2 game. Valencia with a 2-run double.
for the changeup, and then figured here comes another fastball. It was, and this time Valencia didn't miss it. Crushed it past the diving third baseman, and no chance. It was hit so hard for Cowart, and he couldn't get to it. And really, maybe hit so hard that if it banged around in the corner a little bit more, well, Victorino might not have gotten back as quickly. So Ron Washington had to hold up. Brett Lawrie, and Valencia comes through again.
So here's Fegley. A hit here, and the A's could take the lead. This is outside.
And that's why this is all with 2 outs, too. And you got the leadoff double, then a ground out and a fly ball to center field. And the worst thing would be to let him get off the hook, throwing all the pitches out of the strike zone, walking a couple of batters. But Anna Valencia made sure he was not going to get out of it unscathed.
Missed again, 2-0. It has been an ugly inning for Hector Santiago.
And those are the fastballs Mike Butcher knows, pitching coach, that fastballs that A's hitters were swinging at the first time, missing as they were running away from the righties. And then this time, though, Fegley just took it. Same pitch he struck out on his first at bat.
Missed high, 3-0. Remember, the inning started with a very good at bat by Reddick. Ended up with a double.
Gave a leadoff single to Billy Burns with 2 strikes, then retired 6 consecutive batters, including 4 strikeouts. And then all of this in this inning.
We call that maddening.
Yeah.
Especially if you're in the Angels dugout. And that one misses badly, and it's another walk.
And Ineta had to stop that one to keep it from going to the backside.
And they're moving around.
Now batting,
And it's
left
only the
fielder,
third inning.
number 5, Jake Smolinski.
And they're going to get somebody up to throw.
Santiago wants to throw strikes, but he's got to be thinking of the at bat by Valencia. Now he's going to go out of the windup and try to change it up a little bit.
First pitch down and in, 1-0.
As a hitter, you sit or a pitch in a certain zone and you don't deviate from it. And this is to allow the right hand to get loose in the bullpen.
And that's Fernando Salas. So the count 1-0 to Smolinski. And it has been an interesting inning for Santiago.
It's actually an interesting inning for the A's in the top half of the inning. Allowing a couple of runs to score and one on a double steal.
Outside, 2-0. That's this inning. 33 pitches and 20 of them have been balls. And that's hit hard down the third base line off the glove of Cowart. 1 run scores, 2 runs score, and it looks like all 3 runs will score. 5-3, the A's lead. Smolinski clears the bases.
To Smolinski like he did to Valencia, and with 2 swings down the third base line, 5 runs scored. Great swing, great hitting by Smolinski, just like Valencia. Boy, that's great to see. And this time, glove at least a little bit slowed it down. Victorino had to go get the ball, and that's why Ron Washington sent Fegley all the way from first, close play at the plate. But Fegley, the hard slide, able to get in safely feet first. And that's going to be it, believe it or not. for Santiago. But the fact that the ball stopped near the A's bullpen instead of going down in the corner. But all of these walks scored.
So when it's time for change, think Speedy Oil Change and Tune-Up. Your oil change tune-up and smog expert. Salas coming in. A's have scored 5.
Went through the first 2 innings, only 1 hit. And in this inning, a double to lead off by Reddick. And then it all fell apart. 3 walks, all 3 have scored. 4 strikeouts, those occurred in the first 2 innings. 34 pitches in 2/3 of an inning in the 3rd inning.
Amazing, Ray. The A's had Reddick at 3rd and 2 outs.
That's it.
And then he just started walking people. He walked Canna, he walked Laurie, Valencia with the 2-run double. He walked Fegley, Smolinski with the 2-run double. So Smolinski's was a 3-run double. So 1-1 to Billy Butler against Fernando Salas, probably in the game earlier than he thought he would be. Especially after watching the first 2 innings.
That's right. I tell you, the 2 advances by Valencia and Smolinski, really newcomers to the ball club, but doing exactly what you should do with a pitcher who's struggling to throw strikes. Both got ahead of the count, and both had great swings. Smolinski 2-0 after the 2 pitches missed. Hard hit to where Coward couldn't get it. And Valencia, often talk about it, this ball got near the heater, and Valencia or Victorino went very close to the plate with a feet first slide, and like the left foot just barely got there before Ionetta could tag him. That's a good slide by the catcher, Josh Fick. But when Santiago missed the changeup to Valencia, bases loaded, figured fastball, and that's when Valencia unloaded with a hard double down the line. And then when it fell behind to Smolinski, laid a fastball in, and that was it. So a very short outing for Santiago.
He's got to be thinking, what the heck just happened?
And you know, one of the things we talked about, the highest percentage of fastballs, and he's at what, 5th on the list, and success.
Yeah.
And they always say the fastball is the easiest pitch to throw for a strike. He couldn't do it. And then the more he threw out of the strike zone, sadly, the more he just kept missing. So the A's, 5 runs with 2 outs.
Butler, a little pop up, foul territory, and drop from Pujols.
The game in Seattle, the A's similar, 4 innings, Iwakuma 1 hit. 5th inning, 5 runs. They ended up scoring that game 10 runs with 2 outs of the 11 scored. And of course, a big 5 spot in this inning, all with 2 outs. Those are the big hits, the innings teams like to get. Scoring a lot of runs with 2 outs.
And a fastball. Butler swings and misses. Side retired. A's bat around and score 5. So the hits just kept coming with a little help from walks from Hector Santiago. So 3 innings in the books. The A's now lead it 5-3.
September the 4th when the A's take on the Seattle Mariners. Oktoberfest beers will be available throughout the ballpark, and fans can enjoy German-themed entertainment and food. For tickets, visit athletics.com/Oktoberfest. That's this weekend. Coming up, big weekend. It's fireworks on Saturday. Of course, the Oktoberfest on Friday. So it should be a great weekend of baseball and fun at the Coliseum.
Getting an early start on Oktoberfest right there. So Caleb Coward steps in. Switch hitting third baseman. Angels still waiting for David Freese to get back. A 1-1 to Coward, and Green will follow, and then Calhoun here in the top of the 4th. A's with a 5 spot in the bottom of the 3rd to take the lead. So Dubront gave up 1 in the 1st and 2 in the 3rd. Now he's pitching with the lead for the first time.
How many times we talk about one of the toughest jobs for a manager is knowing when to remove a pitcher, whether it's a starter or reliever, and we've seen too often where a manager goes to the bullpen and early in the game, as a starter might be a little upset, but if you recognize and realize that a pitcher's having a tough time throwing a strike, you're not going to bury yourself. I mean, it's just a 2-run game, and Mike Scioscia had to figure out a way to stop everything going on against his pitcher.
Well, it's really a worst case scenario because your guy is having trouble throwing strikes and the bases are loaded.
That's right. Yeah.
So there's nothing to do. You don't have any margin for error.
And it's hard to, as a catcher, to call anything but fastballs because you don't want to fall behind. He threw the changeup and missed, and that's when Valencia knew he was going to get a fastball next pitch.
And it's a leadoff walk. So Dubront into the stretch as Grant Green hits.
Now batting, number 10, Grant Green.
That's the 3rd walk for Dubront. Three walks, 3 strikeouts for the A's left-hander. pitches down and in. Mr. Brandt in that start against the Dodgers. The A's won in 10 innings. Through 6 innings, gave up just 1 unearned run and 1 hit, but he did walk 6. He was able to pitch around those walks. There's a strike. Grant Green, the A's #1 pick in the 2009 draft. Taken 13th overall out of USC.
Oh, he's traded to the Angels. He immediately went in the lineup. He joined the club. Green did when the A's were in Pittsburgh a couple of years ago.
Pretty good move there by Dubron. Almost like a little hesitation.
Kerwin Danley, the first base umpire, looking intently, because it's the first base umpire who can look at the angle of the pitcher, especially the lefty. Kind of the imaginary line for a left-hander, and this time going to the plate, a little slide step, keeping the front foot close to the ground.
Two to Green, who bounced out to third back in the 2nd inning. Curve is in the dirt. So Felix Dubron, I'd not say he's been real sharp tonight. Throwing a lot of pitches himself. 68. We're in the 4th inning. Valencia has it. That's a fair ball to second for 1. Back to first, and not quite in time. A's get the lead runner.
Fair ball was called by Pat Hoberg. You have to make the play, and Valencia does a good job making this play, not knowing initially if it's fair or foul. So you make the play, continue just in case. And I don't know if Hoberg just pointed out that it was fair or verbally let him know, but a nice play by Valencia to Laurie, who says, come on, hit me as hard as you want to. I want to stand here. That's a pretty big second baseman to take any kind of blows you want to get it.
Top of the order in Cole Calhoun.
Valencia, I think, telling Semien he's going to be one covering if there's a ground ball hit to him instead of Laurie, who's playing way over towards the right side.
Calhoun takes a strike. Calhoun has struck out and hit a fly ball to center field.
Just wonder if Semien can understand Brett Laurie. Talks fast.
Slow down. Big swing by Calhoun. He will do that occasionally.
Another breaking ball, and it seems like Dubron saving his best breaking pitches for Cole Calhoun.
To Calhoun. Trout will be next. Always a big guy to get in front of Trout, whoever it is. He has too much I think Calhoun went around. Yes, he did. He didn't like it, but it looked like he went around, and that's the strikeout, and it's strikeout number 4 for Dubron.
Well, after like Jim Joyce, the home plate umpire, with the ball in the dirt in the swing, he admittedly pointed down to Pat Holberg in third base.
Mike Trout.
He couldn't tell. He quickly put the left arm out, and there's what Pat Holberg saw.
It was close.
Yeah, nice block by Josh Phegley, but he didn't like it. Thought he had held up. But I liked what Jim Joyce did. He did not even hesitate. He said, let's go. Make the call. And sometimes a catcher will ask, but Jim Joyce, the veteran umpire, said, see what the third base umpire says. I can't see it. Don't want to call it. Just wish more umpires did that.
So Trout steps in, a walk and a ground out. He walked and scored in the first. And that pitch is breaking ball down and in. I believe Mike Trout is 24 years old.
He's going to be a free agent about 29 after already signed a huge contract.
Runner goes. Phegley's throws a good one, and that is going to do it. Great throw by Phegley as he throws out Grant Green. Side retired. Bottom of the 4th inning coming up. It'll be Reddick, Simeon, and Burns, and it's a 5-3 A's lead. A's leading 5-3, bottom of the 4th inning. So Reddick to lead it off. He got things started last inning with a double. It's this one in the air toward Victorino. Victorino moving over toward the line, and he's got it. 1 out.
Well, if you want a textbook play, of course, a great strong arm by Phegley, but look at second base. Brett Lawrie straddling the bag. This, if you're a catcher or you want somebody to take a throw at second, that's what you want. Head first slide. But Brett Lawrie straddling the bag saying, come on through me if you can. Throws right there. And you make a play like that at second, you're straddling the bag. I mean, Phegley has a very, very strong arm, but he throws it right on the bag. All Lawrie had to do is catch and tag. You don't have to move it. Just catch it and apply the tag. Washington working with Marcus Simeon, getting him to straddle the bag, but Brett Lawrie did it as perfectly as you ever wanted to see somebody at second base.
Hit high in the air toward Trout. Trout is under it, and he's got it for the second out. And now to the top of the order in Burns.
Now batting center fielder, number 1, Billy Burns.
Single, and then he hit a fly ball to center field. His single was in the first, the fly ball to center field in the third. Burns still leading all American League rookies in hits, stolen bases, total bases. He's second in runs scored. Has had a fine season. And we've enjoyed the hitting style, especially going after the first pitch. It's kind of fun. Best batting average on the first pitch, minimum 50 at bats. Burns 480, Lori 500. So it's working. Ibar charges. He was playing shallow and quickly throws to first. 6-pitch inning for Salas, and the Angels back in the dugout. 5th inning coming up. 5-3 A's lead. Celebrate their 17th annual Breast Cancer Awareness Day, presented by Zevia, the zero-calorie soda, and supported in part by Athena Bottled Water, Nelson Staffing, Comerica Bank, and State Roofing Systems of San Leandro. Prior to the game, 10,000 fans will receive a breast cancer awareness scarf courtesy of Zevia. To join the fight, purchase your special tickets now at athletics.com/survivor. 5-3. A's lead the Angels. It's the top of the 5th inning. Trout, Pujols, Cron. So the 2, 3, 4 hitters for Felix Dubron. This would be a good inning to have a 3-up, 3-down inning. But it's never easy with these guys.
Now, Mike Scioscia, not surprisingly, tried to get Green into scoring position, knowing Trout, if thrown out at second, which he was, then Trout would lead off this inning. Well, he had a good count for him in the last inning.
Good pitch there, right on the outside corner. Trout agrees with the call, which you don't see hitters do very often. But when you're the reigning MVP, you can give the pitcher his credit on a good pitch. Outside. Trout last year, 287, 36 homers, 111 RBIs. And that was good enough to win the MVP. scored 115 runs, had 39 doubles.
Was that note that he's led the league 3 consecutive years with runs scored, and
yes, he has. 10 home runs here at the O.co. And he rips this one to left field right at Smolinski. So sometimes you just got to catch a break, Ray, and Dubron did right there.
Say, let him hit it. I'm not going to walk him. If he hits it hard, hopefully hit at somebody, and he did that. See that swing? That's a textbook swing. Pitch down. He just hammered it to the old atom ball, and Smolinski hardly had to move.
So one away for Pujols. Pujols has walked and singled, and he has scored a run. His single in the 3rd inning, infield single, as Laurie knocked it down and tried to throw him out, couldn't do it. Ground ball back up the middle.
Well, there was a period of time when it seemed Trout and Pujols hit a home run every game. One has 33, Trout 34 for Pujols, and you'd think they're going to hit 50 or 60 each. And all of a sudden,
yeah, they cooled off, and no surprise, the Angels cooled off.
Yeah, exactly right. And talk about contagious. Well, pitch Pujols went out of the strike zone, which is unusual. And a follow through. Did he get it? Yeah, got him in the arm, and that's why Pujols looked back quickly.
Big chopper over Dubron's head. Semien has it, flips to first.
You know who the hitter is. You know the speed. And Marcus Semien just very calmly charged. No bare hand. Here's the glove. Quick throw to first and got Pujols easily. Once he got over the head of Dubron, it was going to be a tough play, but very cool and calm was Semien, and that's a good play. Just getting better and better. Every game, he's better and better.
So here's C.J. Cron.
Game-winning 2-run single yesterday for Semien, and tonight, nice defensive plays.
Off Brad Ziegler.
Like that.
He got 6 hits off Ziegler yesterday. That's tough to do.
It looked like the A's are going to be hoping for a 12th inning. Next thing you know, 2 outs and all the hits back to back. Hit batter and 2-run single, then RBI single by Sogard.
Liner but foul down the third baseline. So the A's finished that road trip through Seattle and Phoenix 3-3. One and 2 to C.J. Cron. 1-1, excuse me. Now 2-1. These are 6-7 against the Angels this year. And we'll play down in Anaheim the final week of the regular season. These will finish with a road trip of 3 in Anaheim and 3 in Seattle. That'll do it for the 2015 season. Pitch is at the knees, and it's called a strike. 3-2.
He didn't want to walk Mike Trout. what he does on this 3-2.
Good pitch inside corner. Crone is going to disagree with Jim Joyce. Strikeout number 5 for Felix Dubron. Bottom of the 5th coming up. It's the A's 5 and the Angels 3. In California is brought to you by Pete's Cold Brew. Keep it smooth. So it's 5-3. The A's lead the Angels, and it's the bottom of the 5th inning. First pitch to Canna from Fernando Salas, who's tried to calm things down a little bit. He has done that. He's retired all 4 hitters that he has faced. Came in the 3rd. Got the final out there, and then had a 3 up, 3 down 4th. 2-0 now to Canna. Strikeout and a walk and a run scored for Mark Canna. Pitch high fastball 2-1. Astros beat the Mariners in Houston 8-3. Ray Lowry Conger homered for the Astros. Trumbo hit a couple in a losing effort for the Mariners. So the first place Astros get their 73rd win. They're 73 and 59.
They've already surpassed their totals from last year.
Keuchel got the win. He's 16-6. He went 7 innings, 1 earned run. His ERA is now 2.24. Sonny Gray's ERA, Ray, is 2.13. So it's close. Two pitches popped up, and it's going to be just shy of our booth. Not by much.
Well, as badly as I'd like to see Sonny Gray win it, he'd almost have to pitch out the month of September, win and keep the ERA low.
Yeah.
Because I think sometimes the voters look at who the pitcher is as far as with the ball club, and the way the Astros have had a phenomenal season and the way Keuchel has led them and their staff. It's been pretty good all season.
Swing and a miss, and a good fastball from Salas, and that's out number 1.
And it fell behind 2-0, and it came right back. And Salas, exactly what Mike Scioscia wanted, to kind of settle things down offensively for the Athletics. So Canna walked on 4 pitches. His last at bat, that was with 2 outs. This time, pretty good fastballs to hit, could not make contact.
So here's Laurie. So Keuchel's record is now 16-6. Sonny Gray's record is 12-6. ball for a strike in the outside corner. And Keuchel becomes the first 16-game winner in the American League. There's a 17-game winner in the National League, and he threw a no-hitter last night. Jake Arrieta no-hit the Dodgers, so he's got 17 wins.
He got a little lucky too. That ball hit up the middle by Hernandez. Hernandez hit backhand of the ball. It probably would have been a hit, but off his chest, and official score gave him an error, which wasn't a clean hit, so that's why it was an error. And congratulations, Arrieta.
Yeah, it's really a official scorer's nightmare. A questionable call, and you go back to what you just said. You want the first hit to be clean.
Right. That was relatively early in the game, wasn't it?
I think it was. Yeah, I think it was the third or fourth inning, and I'm guessing that.
And it would have been the first.
It wasn't late.
Yeah. And there are times, if that is the case, they'd call it an error, and later, once a clean hit, then they can review it and say it didn't really cost them no hitter. But I think if that is the case, it was well deserved, especially in that environment for Arrieta. He's been a great pitcher. I tell you, if they come down to a one-game play in wild card, if he doesn't pitch, it'll probably be a shock. Although they signed Lester to a boatload of money to be the ace, but Arrieta has done a tremendous job.
Well, the Cubs lost tonight. Cardinals won. So the Cubs are 10.5 games out. So if they make the postseason, it's going to be as a wild.
Exactly.
Right. And they got a pretty good grip on the wild card. So they're going to have to more than likely play in that one-game wild card.
Yeah, and that's what's kind of been the anticipation. The Cardinals, it'd be hard for them not to win the division.
And then they got picked up there.
You know that hit hard if it bounced all the way out to the mound. How about the knee? Check the knee right there.
That's a direct hit, isn't it?
And while those shin guards look nice and you might think they protect, they don't on a shot like that. If you go down a block of ball, that's okay, but that is a direct hit, and that hurts. Two former catchers managing tonight. Melvin there, and of course Mike Scioscia.
Another 2-2, a little bit outside, 3-2. Rangers are playing in San Diego tonight, and the Padres have a 4-0 lead over Texas in the 6th inning. It's Colby Lewis and Tyson Ross. We'll watch that game closely. Up in the air, and Howard cannot hold it. Tried to get that short hop, and it popped up in the air. And Laurie, hustling as always, is aboard.
Now Card stays back on this ball, and Laurie beats it out. It's a base hit, and it catches it cleanly. But he tried, knowing the speed of Laurie, you want to get the good hop, and by charging it, ball up in the air, and had no chance at that point. But that's where the speed of the hitter creates an effort by an infielder to try to make a play that otherwise he would not. We saw Simeon take his time with Pujols, with Laurie, who flies down the line.
Oh, one-out base runner, and here is Valencia. Valencia toward right, down the line, and Calhoun cannot quite get to it. Red Sox beat the Yankees tonight at Fenway 4-3. Another home run for David Ortiz, his 29th of the year, and career home run number 495. Red Sox playing better as of late. Beat the first place or the second place Yankees. Another foul ball right side. Indians beat the Blue Jays 4-2. So the Indians are playing well. They're trying to make a late move. If the Blue Jays lose and the Yankees lose, so Toronto still has that 1.5 lead. In the East.
The Yankees won and lost a president. Matter of fact, I wonder if Mark Shapiro just went up to Toronto, took the job, and was the president now of the Blue Jays.
Dugouts.
Yeah. Switch front offices.
That's right. He is President of Baseball Operations. I believe that's his title. That's kind of the new title.
Paul Beeston is retiring after the end of the season, so I think for Mark Shapiro, 24 seasons with the Indians and their organization, general manager and president, and he will move up north of the border.
Left field. Victorino back near the wall, and Victorino can't get it. Here comes Laurie. Wash is waving him home, and Laurie will score. 6-3 A's lead.
Something about Dan Valencia and hanging breaking pitches or off-speed pitches in general. A hanger from Salas, and Brett Lord did exactly what you should do. Get almost to second. There's the hanger, and there's a swing by Brett Lord over Victorino's head. And once he went back to the wall, thinking he had a chance to catch it, hit the wall hard, and it came back. And he had to chase it down. How close did he come? That close with that 12.5-inch glove just over the edge, banging against the wall. And I think they're going to repair the padding in left field. And Brett Lord, though, got part of the way to second base. And once he saw the ball drop, then here comes Brett Lord. The locomotive is on the loose. Yeah, the padding was knocked loose, I think, in left field, and that's why the delay when Victorino banged up against the wall. He's looking for possums.
Yeah, be careful.
What's back there?
He may not.
Yeah, he. It just fell down. Well, it's too bad that happened, because if people could have just realized how quickly that wall had to be put up after the football game. Remember, when baseball is over, that wall goes down, and then it has to be put back up for baseball.
Well, now fans can see what's back there.
State Farm is there.
They need State Farm right now.
I wonder if Clay Wood said, that's not my job. I've done enough. David Renetti, Vice President of Stadium Operations. And
Tell David will get it taken care of.
And Bob Melvin going out to talk to the umpires. And
the grounds crew will certainly take care of this. Hope he can get out of there.
no, he's going to hold it.
I was going to say, poor guy.
He's going to. He said, "Okay, I drew the short straw. I get to go behind the wall, and I will hold it. I'll hold that sign until the game is over, until we can." Well, we know there's what, 7 panels, and Victorino happened to hit the middle one. So the family of possums get a visitor.
Yeah, they're probably not happy.
Say what, these guys are so tired from having to put this field back together, and then
the last thing they need, right?
Yeah.
Well, I don't know how those pads are held up against that metal backing. Got to be
super glue.
Yeah, there's got to be
something that's doing it. Maybe kind of wedged in there or something, but got to lift it up about 4 inches though. Wow.
Salas, the pitcher, is has not really been throwing. He's just kind of waiting, but you really have no idea how long this is going to take.
He might still be thinking about the hanging slider he just threw to Valencia on a 2-strike pitch. And
it looks like they're just kind of waiting on some reinforcements right now. So not a whole lot anybody can do right now, unfortunately. Yeah, we're going to step aside and let the guys get that padding back up out in left center field. But the A's have scored a run here in the 5th, and they lead at 6-3. We'll be back.
Keep your eye on the ball as it hides under a
inning, the A's were down 3 runs, but Dan Valencia with the bases loaded. He drove in 2 with a double, his first of the night. And then Jake Smolinski with the same bases loaded, a 2-0 pitch, another ringing double down the left field line. Victorino with a strong throw, but Thackley scoring from first on the double. A's 5 runs with 2 outs in the 3rd inning after then pitcher Hector Santiago looked like he's going to have another easy inning, but that was not the case. And we will tell you what's happening on this field. But before we do that, we'll tell you can find out what's possible with AT&T. You can call 1-800-PICK-ATT, mobilizing your world. And Type, you explain what's going on.
Well, the Angels have left the field. In fact, the field is playerless at this moment. Umpires are still standing around home plate in the pitcher's mound, but everybody has left the field.
Hey, all right, guys, there you go. Look at that. Broken fence delay. How many times do you see that in Major League Baseball?
That
might be the first ever. Broken fence delay. Time of delay of broken fence will be.
Now they're working on it out there. I'm not much of a outfield fence expert, unfortunately, Ray. I wish I was.
I'm not either. I'd like to know what
builder. You know,
I'd like to know what the guy behind's doing behind the fence. I mean,
we're worried about that.
He might be the most important part of the ground crew, the man behind the fence.
Maybe he just went through the. He walked out there and he said, "That's it. I'm tired, and it's time."
The question is, do they have a level to make sure that top panel is even with the rest of them? Poor skipper.
So what you're saying is, if I texted David Renetti right now and said, "David, it looks a little crooked on top," would that be a bad idea? Probably would be a bad idea. So another interesting night at the Coliseum, Ray.
Man, what Buck Showalter said, do they show the possum just to make people believe that really there's a stadium needed here? But they are coming back out, and I guess the fence has been repaired. But I must say that is a first.
That's a first.
A fence repair delay.
And again, I mean, as most people I'm sure know, but that all those padding panels, they come down for the football game, so they have to be put back up. And
you know what? One company that's very happy, State Farm.
State Farm, yeah.
And Mike Scioscia is going to go to the bullpen.
How about that?
So all this going on, and maybe that's why Salas wasn't throwing, because knew he was going to be coming out of the reliever who is coming in now, who had been throwing.
So when it's time for change, think Speedy Oil Change and Tune-Up. Your oil change, tune-up, and smog expert. Trevor Gott comes in, hard-throwing young right-hander. We'll be back.
Authority of the Oakland Athletics and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of Athletics Investment Group, LLC.
So we're about set to get going here again after the fence has been repaired. Danny Valencia had the RBI double. One out here in the bottom of the fifth inning. So Trevor Gott comes in. He's having a nice season for the Angels. Young right-hander. 2-2 with a 2.43 ERA. So Gott facing Fegley. The first pitch fouled straight back. So Salas goes an inning and 2/3. One run so far.
Now the play that Cowart tried to make a third on Brett Laurie's ball, charged it, could not come up with it. Otherwise, might have been a pretty easy inning for Salas again.
Well, that one missed outside, 2-1. Fegley a strikeout and a walk. Scored a run in the third. Pitch is way outside. He got kind of a herky-jerky 3/4 delivery.
And he slings the ball. That's a slinger. And be able to throw the ball that way. He wants the movement to come back towards the outside corner of the plate with a two-seam fastball. So far, it's not coming back that much.
And running inside. Got just 23 or just turned 23.
Arm all the way back. Similar to Chris Bassett, only Bassett takes his arm down a little bit more, but for a reliever just coming in and throwing hard like that with a movement, that's why catchers set up in the middle of the plate. Why take a movement to a corner when it can go off the plate?
Valencia, the runner at second base. Hit toward Trout in center. He's hustling back, and he'll get there and make the catch. Valencia tags. He will go to third, 2 outs.
Going to give him the Gold Glove now. He's pretty good up there. Nothing.
It's good jumps.
Nothing panics him. Easy haircut again. Just crew cut.
Number 5, Jake Smolinski.
He got a great jump on the ball. Went back, took a little basket catch.
So here's Smolinski. First pitch runs inside.
And watch Jake Smolinski. See, the right foot stays in the batter's box, and he does all this looking at the pitcher until he gets ready. So really, he's doing his job in the so-called pace of the game, where he keeps a foot in the batter's box, and he waits for the pitch to get ready, then he gets it.
Nasty pitch there, 94 miles an hour.
I think they enforce it a little bit more at the minor league level. But this is a very good sinker, and from a hitter standpoint, that looks like a strike until it approaches the plate and then disappears.
And that one almost got Valencia in foul territory, of course.
Scotty making the plays again down in the bullpen. He's had a week off while the A's were on the road, but worked out while the A's were there, and that's why you start out in foul territory. You stay there in case you're hit, and fair, you're out.
Curve just a bit high. 2-2 to Smolinski. Smolinski swings at a high fastball. Side retired, and a run for the A's. An error and the Valencia double. 6-3 A's lead after 5. Strong fan photo of the game. Tweet your strongest fan photo to CSNCA Data Strong Fan, and you just might see yourself in an upcoming broadcast. It's brought to you by T-Mobile. Our photo tonight comes from Ann Pendleton of Brooklyn, California. That is Precious the cat, who loves the A's. 6-3 A's lead. It's the top of the 6th inning, and Dubront back to work. He'll face Ibar, Victorino, and Iannetta. First pitch to Ibar on the outside corner, first strike. Ibar an RBI single in the first, a sacrifice fly in the third.
And this time leading off the inning, and that's the important thing, as he has come through with some big hits, driving in runs, but this time, unless it's a home run, he will not drive in one. But he's always been a good hitter against the A's. It just seems like every time he plays against the A's, whether hitting left or right, playing at shortstop, he has some good games.
And he bunts it. He's got a chance to have a hit, and he will. Perfect bunt. He pushed it. And I don't know that there was necessarily a defensive mistake made here, Ray. I think it's just a very good bunt.
It's a great bunt. Dubront, left-hander, of course, a little bit towards the left side, left third base side, and Dubront said, "Don't bother to throw," because look where Canna's playing, and Dubront goes after it, and really, that's just outrunning, and he couldn't have thrown it out there any better. So he drives in a couple of runs and decides, well, I better get on base to try to start an inning, and he does it with a bunt.
So that is 6 hits now for the Angels. They've actually out-hit the A's 6-5. The A's took advantage of some walks back in the third inning. Victorino's got 2 singles tonight and a stolen base. First pitching, first strike. And the bullpen now starts to move around with Mahika heating up. Dubront at 93 pitches. He's got it, spins, fires to second, back to first, double play. Nicely done by Felix Dubront. He did not rush, and he made a good throw to Laurie at second base.
And that's why pitchers will always look to second who's going to be covering. So when Dubront got the ball, he knew it was going to be Brett Laurie. Laurie catches it, strong arm, takes the hard slide from Ibar, and continues and completes the double play. Simeon actually broke to the bag, but it was predetermined that it was going to be Brett Laurie. And he got there, and Laurie has a very strong arm, and he's not afraid to take any sort of a hit.
Iannetta drives one to deep center. Burns is back. He's at the wall, and he makes the catch. Leaped up right up against the wall, and Iannetta is retired on a long fly ball to center field. Bottom of the 6th coming up. Butler's going to lead it off. 6-3 A's lead. the A's got their 17th straight win. Eric Chavez, a go-ahead 2-run single that broke the tie in the bottom of the 8th inning. Billy Koch got the save. A's beat the Minnesota Twins 6-3. The win matched the franchise record for consecutive wins set in 1931. That was when it was the Philadelphia A's. They got to 20. 2002.
That was a big weekend against the Twins. Miguel Tejada, after Shelby did that, Tejada took over the next two. Still can't believe the A's. Tim Hudson had an 11-0 lead. Next thing you know, it's tied at 11. But it did. They won, and that is history.
1-1 the count to Billy Butler. It's hard to believe it was 13 years ago.
That's right.
Butler, line drive, right center field, and a base hit. It's going to roll through to the wall, and Billy Butler digging for second, and he's got a double. That's the Billy Butler swing we know. His first hit tonight.
That is his swing. That is what the A's knew they were going to be getting from Billy Butler, and with that back foot, kind of bringing up some dirt, but into the gap at right center, and looks like it's going to be a new pitcher for the Angels.
So when it's time for change, think Speedy Oil Change and Tune-Up, your oil change, tune-up, and smog experts.
Day's induction into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in downtown Cleveland. The East Bay natives and longtime A's fans will be in attendance for a special pregame presentation, followed by a postgame fireworks show set to the music of this iconic rock band. Fans are invited to watch the show from the field, but please note, space is limited.
Six-3 A's lead, and they got the leadoff double from Butler. So Mike Scioscia back to the bullpen as Jose Alvarez takes over. Lefty on lefty here with Reddick in the box. Did he go? No. So 1-0. Reddick with a double and a run scored in the third, and a fly ball to left field in the fourth. Couple of lefties in the bullpen for the Angels. Alvarez here. Cesar Ramos also a lefty. Reddick shows bunt. Pulled pulls the bat back, and it's 2-1.
The only reason he would do that is instead of trying to drive the ball, hit it to the right side to advance the runner, thought maybe bunting. That would indicate that this lefty's pretty good against lefties. Especially throwing the slider might be difficult for Reddick to get on top of the ball and pull it to the right side.
A sweeping slider, and it's 3-1. So Reddick takes it. Simeon waits in the on-deck circle. Their first strike. Now it's 3-2. A little bit outside and a close pitch. No swing.
That was very close. Almost so close you wondered how he took it.
Now batting shortstop, number 10, Marcus Semien.
So the A's open up the bottom of the 6th with a couple of base runners. He's with 5 in the 3rd and 1 in the 5th. Drops in there for a strike to Semien, who has grounded to 3rd and hit a fly ball to center field.
Corner infielders coming in thinking bunt, but Billy Butler is not fleet of foot. So I mean, sometimes a bunt, he is not part of the equation. If the runner from second has a difficult time to get to third base.
Into left field, and that's a base hit. Victorino picks it up, flips it back in. Butler stops at third, and the bases are loaded with nobody out.
See, he moved the third baseman, and even thinking of bunt, you swing the bat, takes away his range. And Marcus Semien took the outside off-speed pitch and hammered it past Coward to third base. He moved back a little bit, but still playing relatively shallow, even with a bag. And after they'd gotten the ball anyway, possibly if he's playing deeper, but anticipating a bunt that never happened, Marcus Semien got by.
So Burns hits with the bases loaded. Infield comes in for the Angels. Swings and misses at the first pitch. Single in the first. Fly ball to center in the 3rd, and a ground out to short in the 4th for Burns so far.
Not a bad setup by the Angels because they figured Billy Burns is aggressive. He's going to swing the bat. If he hits the ball on the ground, it's going to be tough to double him up, so might as well play in and go for the play at the plate. Cubs are down by 3.
To 3rd, steps on 3rd, throws across, pulls the runner off, and now Butler is going to be tagged out at home. So it turns out to be a double play.
Right.
Reddick was out because Coward stepped on the bag at 3rd, and that eliminates Reddick.
Butler didn't have to run.
And Butler could have stayed at 3rd, but he trotted home, and then the tag was put on, so it's a double play. So once he steps on 3rd here, Ray, that means Butler can stay there.
And Butler was going to go back, figured they were going to tag, but I mean, he had to run anyway because the bases were loaded. It's a ground ball, and that was strange when he went back. It was almost like he thought it was a line drive out into the glove, and he's trying to avoid it being doubled up, but he's already. Well, that just well, Pujols saved it too. He gets keeps the ball from being overthrown. But with the bases loaded on ground ball, all runners have to advance or move. And in this case, once that happened, wow.
So that's a strange double play. Cannon takes low. I think once the ball took Coward a step toward 3rd, that's when he realized, you know what, I'm right here. I'm going to step on 3rd. Otherwise, I think he's going to throw it home and go for the double play that way.
Really, all he had to do once Butler took off was just throw Diana or get him to run down. So there's a double play.
And to the left. Hit well. Victorino's back. And that baby's gone. And that's a 3-run homer for Mark Canha. So 9-3, the A's lead.
Well, he was brought in, and there's a real 5-hit lefties. He hit righties all year until this one. So that makes up for a strange double play for the A's to score 3 on Mark Canha's blast.
So here's Laurie, number 11 for Canha, give him 53 RBIs. One and one to Laurie.
Now Mark Canha always aggressive, and boy, that was a pitch to do exactly what he did. And looked like Brett Laurie hitting behind him wanted to hit it also. He liked the swing, and why not? Great swing. Canha, so many home runs against lefty or righties all season until tonight, and how many of that's a big 3-run shot.
Just up over the screen, so the count 2-2.
Second 3-run home run for Mark Canha. He had a great year, and we talked in Phoenix about Mark Canha. We talked about him in our open. Mike Scioscia not happy, knowing the importance of every game in this end of August, September.
So Alvarez strikes out Laurie, but the A's get a big 3-run homer from Mark Canha. So the A's swinging the bats again tonight. It's 9-3 after 6.
California is brought to you by Toyota, the full-line automaker with the longest-lasting vehicles in America. Toyota, let's go places. By Xfinity, home of the most live sports. And by Black Bear Diner, feed your inner bear.
So Mark Canha with a 3-run homer, and it is now 9-3.
11 home runs for Canha.
Yep.
Guy been first against a lefty this season. Unbelievable. Here we are on August the 31st. And Felix Servant is still in the game. First inning, all those pitches you're thinking, is he going to make it out of this inning? He's going to make it out of the second and third. And top of the 7th here is Felix Servant with a big lead.
They face Caleb Cowart, and then Grant Green and Cole Calhoun. pitch way outside. So that was pitch number 96 for Dubron. A little bit outside, 2-0. The A's swung the bats pretty well yesterday.
Yes, they did.
And again tonight. That's good to see.
Well, 18 hits yesterday against the Diamondbacks. Cam Pedrosia.
Swing and a miss, and it's 2-2. The Angels gave up some runs over the weekend in Cleveland as well. They lost 3-1, 8-3, and 9-2.
And evidently the sun was bright in Cleveland. The outfield has had a tough time catching fly balls.
Angels 8th in the league in team ERA. It's going to take a little beating tonight. Reached for and looped over first, and that's a hit for Coward. His first. Looked like the pitch was about a foot outside.
Just like C.J. Cron a couple of innings ago, his second at bat when he singled to right field.
Now batting, number 10.
That was way off the plate.
Green.
Left-handed batter's box.
Mahika is up again. He's loosening quickly. Dubron has now gone over 100 pitches. Pitch to Green is hit high and foul down the right field line. Padres leading the Rangers now 7-0 in the 9th inning. Colby Lewis started that game for the Rangers, so he will not get his 15th win of the year. There's the Rangers, the second wild card team right now, and only 3 behind the Astros coming into tonight, but the Astros won earlier. Grant Green tonight, a ground out, and he reached out a fielder's choice. Inside by Dubron, and the count now 2-1. Tampa Bay beat Baltimore 6-3. The Orioles have lost 5 in a row, and the Orioles are now 63 and 68. Ever since the A's left Baltimore, the Orioles played well against the A's, but those have struggled ever since then. 3-1 the count to Green. And it's a walk. So single and a walk to open up the 7th inning, and see if it's time for Edward Mahika. He's ready.
I think he's been ready.
Yep.
He almost said ready. Just touch of the cap by Scott Emerson, indicating to Bob Melvin, Kurt Young, yeah, let's make the move.
So Bob Melvin up out of the dugout. Felix Dubron, 6+ innings tonight, 106 pitches. When it's time for a change, think Speedy Oil Change and Tune-Up, your oil change, tune-up, and spa experts. Dubron out, Mahika coming in.
bases loaded and see what happens. Ground ball to third. For some reason, Butler goes back. If Butler's tagged, then the bag is tagged, and a good throw to first base. Might have been a triple play. Because Butler, when he went back to the bag, if he was tagged before he got to the bag, that's an out there. And then he steps on the bag, is a second out, and then across the diamond to first to get Burns is a third out.
So once his foot touched the bag, well, then he can kind of do what he wants.
Exactly.
Right?
But then he left the bag.
He left the bag.
For what? But all that happening, and you look at this game, it's 8 2-out runs and an unearned run.
Sure.
You know, and maybe those three, but I have no idea unless Butler thought the bases weren't loaded. Thought it was a line drive in the air. I mean, but it was clearly a ground ball. Bases loaded, everybody had to run. Anyway, DeBront, good job. 106 pitches, 5 strikeouts. He could try to get the part out of the bullpen. Bullpen's been great for the A's, especially on the road. He could part of that in DeBront's start in Seattle when he came out after 2 innings. DeBront goes 6+ in this game, a little bit different, and now the back end of the bullpen trying to close it out.
Howard at second, Green at first. Foul right at the plate. So 1-1 to Cole Calhoun, who's 0 for 3 with a couple of strikeouts. Also hit a fly ball to center field. 262 the average for Calhoun. Good power. You see Calhoun stands well off the plate.
That hit the umpire, thankfully. Well, he's the dirt and got past the glove catcher's mitt, and Jim Joyce looked like he caught it on part of his leg someplace. The ball scoot under Josh Fegley. And Jim Joyce right there with the right leg and kept it close. So if the A's get a double play, give an assist to Jim Joyce.
That's right.
Keep a double play in order.
Trout to follow. Split finger by Mejica, and it's his best pitch. As long as he doesn't hang it, this was not a hanger.
That is the key. You want it to go down just like that.
Two to Calhoun. Hits it hard. Canna spins, fires to second for 1. Simeon will hold on to it. So 1 away. So now the runner's at the corners. Green is off the bases.
Well, here you just want to make sure you get it out. And that's what Mark Canna, good throw to second base, and even better, Marcus Simeon, knowing the speed of Calhoun and the difficulty of doubling him up at first base. Keep the double play in order. Keep the runner at third.
So Trout steps in. Trout walked and scored in the first. Ground out to the pitcher, a line out to left. Off the plate to Trout with Pujols to follow. The Angels visions of getting back in this game. They probably need to do it right here. In the dirt, 2-0. Whatever you want. We're going with seafood tonight.
Either way, you got Salmon with the World Championship in 2002. Trout trying to get upstream, but it is. But might be a little upstream for the Angels now if they don't.
Oh yeah, big time. There's a strike. So 2-1 to Trout. He'll take one. He may not take another one. Ground ball at a middle infield. His foot toward right. Reddick's coming in. He's got it. And Coward will not try to score. So a big out by Mahika. He gets Trout on a shallow fly ball to right field. Sounded like he may have broke his back.
Yeah, and also the fact that the Angels down by 6. No reason for the runner to try to score. And this one not quite as deep as what we said earlier by Ibar.
Some splinters of the bat right at home plate.
Well, we've seen a couple of catchers' interferences this year with the A's hitting, and you can just see how close the catcher can get. And with the swing by hitter, all he has to do if he goes back a little bit and then goes through with the swing, that's what creates the catcher's interference.
So Abad loosening up for the A's. As Albert Pujols stands in. Stays inside to Pujols, who has walked, singled, and grounded out. He's also scored a run. A couple of home runs in his career off Mahika.
June 19th, it was a slam. Remember the game? They scored 8 runs in the 7th. The Angels did, with the A's leading at one time 7-2. And the Angels just came out of nowhere. Sonny Gray started the 7th, walked a couple, and 8 runs, and capped by a grand slam, a bullet down the left field line by Albert Pujols off Mahika. So hoping for better things in this at bat.
Got a fastball out over the plate.
Well, he hit a hanging split finger fastball, if that's possible. But listen, what? Boop, gone. I mean, that was a bullet just inside the 330, and that was a big come from behind victory. And that was the first game of the 3-game series. The A's would win the next 2, but that game was a shocker for the A's, especially with Sonny Gray just dominating.
Pitch. Pujols lays off. Pretty good take there by Pujols.
So far, he's staying away from the splitter, it looks like, in this at bat. Mahika, who threw a good one to Calhoun, has yet to throw one to Pujols.
Howard at third, Calhoun at first. One's hit hard into left field, and that's a base hit.
Through it.
Coward comes in to score to make it a 9-4 game. So Pujols gets his 76th RBI.
And not surprising. Typical power hitter. You go off speed. Look at that front foot, barely a little bit of a lift, but it's off speed and he crushed it. Make a mistake. They are so strong. They stay back with the bat, and anything that stays anywhere around the plate is going to be hit hard like that. And I guess you could say fortunate it was on the ground instead of in the air.
So here's Cron. Cron's got good power. He's got 10 home runs. One for 3 tonight with a single and a run score. He scored on the back end of a double steal. That was in the 3rd inning. Hits and a walk. And that was a bit of a hanger. Maybe out in front just a little bit. So now 0-2. Mahika trying to put him away. side. Bod still throwing in the A's bullpen.
You'd like to have him leading off next inning. Ibar don't have runners on base. He's had a good night.
There's a shot right field. Reddick coming in, and he makes the catch. Nice play by Reddick. Got a good jump. So a run, and that's it for the Angels. 7th inning stretch time. It's the A's 9 and the Angels 4. Is leading the Angels. Two teams the Angels are chasing in that American League wild card. The Yankees and the Rangers both lost. But right now, Angels unable to capitalize on that, trailing in this game. Padres shut out the Rangers tonight 7-0 in San Diego. New pitcher is Cam Bedrosian here in the bottom of the 7th. Bedrosian takes over for Alvarez. He's the 5th pitcher of the night. Santiago left in the 3rd. So Bedrosian, appearance number 24. Valencia bounces it in the hole. Ibar backhands, straightens up, and that's the first out. The Angels very high on Cam Bedrosian.
Number 19,
right now, though, he's that AAA to the big league shuttle. And he did it last year, and he's done it a lot this year. So with one out, here's Fegley. First pitch to Fegley, down and away. 0 for 2, walk and run scored for Fegley, hitting in the 5th spot tonight. High fastball, and Fegley had a good rip at it. So 1-1 to count with Smolinski waiting in the on-deck circle. Game 1 of a 3-game series to close out the month of August.
The A's started with a win in the month of August against the Tribe. Like to finish it on a positive note.
Big curve drops in for a strike.
But the A's had not had that losing road trip to Toronto and Baltimore. They've been a fairly successful month. They're going to finish 2 to 3 games under 500 the month of August, depending what happens tonight.
Yeah, that was the trip that just almost could not dig yourself out from under.
Finished with a great comfort behind victory against the Astros on the Sunday, and then went on the road, lost 7 straight, came back and beat the Dodgers. But in between, to Toronto and Baltimore, did nothing except lose.
Outside corner, strike 3 calls. Bedrosian paints that outside corner. So here's our pitching probables for tomorrow. It's brought to you by Chevron. Matt Shoemaker for the Angels, and Cody Martin is going to be called up.
Number 5,
he's going to start
Smolinski
for the A's. And Chris Bassett, who is scheduled to start, has a little bit of a sore right shoulder, so he will not start, and it's going to be Cody Martin. So there you go. Be careful with another young pitcher in Chris Bassett.
Kendall Graveman on the right, looking on. He's on the disabled list, and remarkably, in the last game of the homestand against Tampa Bay, he injured his oblique in the bullpen. Pitched 6 innings, and then went on the disabled list. That is pretty remarkable for him to pitch the way he did. Kendall Graveman, but shut down, as saying Jesse Hahn. So bodes well for the future of the ball club. Rotation again very strong going into 2016. Just trying to finish the month of August, and September the same.
And that one right on the outside corner, and Bedrosian gets the call there. So a couple of strikeouts for Bedrosian, and we're moving to the 8th inning. It's the A's 9 and the Angels 4. The Coliseum, and we got one coming up this Friday against the Mariners. Get a ticket in our value deck behind home plate, an authentic A's beach towel, a cheer card, and a $6 food and drink voucher. It's all for one great price. The best deal in Bay Area baseball is CSN's Authentic Fan Friday.
Leading off the top of the 8th inning for Los Angeles,
this
number 2,
Friday.
Eric Ibar.
So the new pitcher is Fernando Abad.
I think Bob Melvin has seen Ibar hit enough from the left side. Decided to turn him around.
That's probably true.
See how he hits from the right side.
So Mahika goes an inning, gives up a hit, no runs. Dubron ended up giving up 4 runs in 6+ innings. Takes a strike, and it's 0-2. There's the night for Ibar, 2 for 2 with a couple of RBIs. Rolls that one off his foot. Ibar is going to go for a long walk. And the umpire will give him a little extra time as common courtesy. That was right on the top of the foot.
On top.
He'll probably stay with you for a while. Ibar steps back in. The count is 0-2. Victorino will be next, and then Iannetta. Reached for, poked into center field, and Ibar on an 0-2 pitch gets a hit, and we're almost not surprised.
Foot feels better too. But you're right. Finds a way, and there's certain teams you face, you just figure whether you're left-handed, right-handed, 2 strikes, no strikes, change up into the bat, threw his bat at it, and got a base hit.
So Victorino steps in. Victorino's got a couple of hits, 2 for 3. And he takes a pitch a little outside. Victorino singled in the first, and he singled in the third. He also stole the base. And now 1-1. The Angels, with that Ibar hit, now have 9 hits in the game. Bounced right into the A's dugout. Shallow right, Reddick trots in. And he's got it, and that's the first out here in the 8th inning. So now Iannetta will hit for the 4th time.
Number 17, Chris Iannetta.
Fernando Bott always and has at least been talking about everything hard, but still throws a change up to right-handers, does not do it to lefties.
Couple of strikeouts for Iannetta. Iannetta has really struggled last year offensively and again this year.
Yeah, catcher knows that you call multiple changeups back to back. As a hitter, you never think about it. He just got back-to-back changeups, and second one's really great as he was thinking fastball, but Bott pulled the string.
Fastball there, maybe not, 85 miles an hour.
But you know, it's amazing. Iannetta has always been a very good catcher, and because every possession has become offensive, then you start looking at numbers offensively, and
he's good defensively.
Yeah,
you're right.
Throws well, blocks the ball as well, and catches. I mean, everything is very, very good behind the plate.
And Fegley can't find it. It rolls toward the on-deck circle.
There's Jim Joyce when you need it.
Read an interesting article on Iannetta recently about how he always thought he did a pretty good job framing pitches, but some of these statistical breakdowns said otherwise, and he worked very hard at it, and now he's considered one of the better pitch framers in the league. And here's a veteran who decided he's going to get better at it, and he did.
And really, it's called catching the ball correctly. And now it becomes a statistic, and you're either good or not good. But unfortunately, that's where the catching position has gone. But you took a lot of pride as a catcher to catch the ball and keep it in the strike zone instead of taking it out.
3-1 pitch, and he gets a swing through. So now 3-2.
Throw him another changeup. Just see what he does on another one, because he has swung at 2 changeups. He's missed both of them. Vaughn with the midnight his fastball, when he airs it out, does have the changeup. When he pulls the string, it's tough to catch up.
And that one missed badly, so it's a walk. 2 on, 1 out. So 5 walks issued by A's pitchers tonight. And Kurt Young's going to chat with Abad, who's facing Caleb Cowart. His bullpen is quiet at the moment. And the Angels bullpen is quiet as well, and there's not a whole lot of people down there. Kurt Young heads back. Jim Joyce wants to keep this thing moving.
Now batting, number 41, Caleb Cowart.
Kurt is walking only because he has to.
Yeah, Kurt's got the, I think it's the bad Achilles tendon.
Yeah. He would love to run, and of all places, this has the largest foul territory and longest trip to the mound.
So Cowart steps in. No chance for the Angels to close the gap here a little bit. First pitch is a changeup, and it stays right on the outside corner for a strike.
He can throw the changeup in the middle of the plate as he just did there, and the 2 that he threw to Iannetta that he swung through. It's a great pitch, and you can afford to do that. You don't need to try to throw it to the corners, because if you do, your game start aiming the ball and it does not go where you want it.
That one hit into left field, and that's a base hit. And they're going to wave Ibar home. The throw to the plate is not quite in time, and Ibar scores, and now it's 9-5. Still only 1 out in the inning.
Another off speed, and surprisingly, it was as close as it was, but Ibar good speed. Smolinski a strong throw, and Josh Fagley just tried to catch and tag as quickly as possible, could not make the play.
So we are going to get some action now as the phone rings in the bullpen. Grant Green is the hitter. Pomeranz gets up. It's the top of the 8th inning. So a run in the 7th, a run in the 8th for the Angels. It's now 9-5. And the first pitch is a strike. Green is 0 for 2. He walked in the 7th. Iannetta, the runner at second. Not great speed. Now it's 0-2. So what's our goal this inning, Ray? To not let Mike Trout bat. Because if Mike Trout bats in this inning, he's going to hit with runners on base. And the game's going to be a little bit closer.
He's going to be on the line.
So it's gone single, fly out, walk, single. Swing and a miss. He chased up and away, and Green strikes out. So big strikeout for a Bob.
Just try to finish, and that's the same pitch that A's hitters are striking out against the night starter Santiago of the Angels.
So now it's Calhoun, the leadoff man, who is 0 for 4. Calhoun, a couple of strikeouts. He did reach on a fielder's choice in the 7th. He has a huge swing and he missed it. Trout is in the on-deck circle. That one off the glove of Fegley, and the runners will move up to 2nd and 3rd.
Well, that's a big 90 feet for both runners, and especially like you said with Inetta, who doesn't run particularly well speed-wise, and now he's at 3rd, where don't have to worry about ball way inside with the target outside. So all of a sudden this becomes a huge hitter.
Yeah.
And with Pomerantz, the lefty, warming up with Trout in the on-deck circle.
So the count 1-1 to Calhoun, lefty on lefty. And now 2-1.
Angels are hoping that Trout hits in this inning because they figure
maybe the tying run if he doesn't.
Exactly. They would have a real good chance with one of the better hitters at the plate.
So the crowd getting a little restless. Fegley with the slow walk. Jim Joyce is not going to wait around a lot before he breaks it up.
Some real good fans.
Yeah, there's some pretty good comments coming from fans just below us. Nothing bad, just opinionated. How about that?
Very opinionated.
And that one hit high in the air. Reddick back. Still going back near the wall. And he's got it. How about that? No problem. So a run scores, but that's it. Bottom of the 8th coming up. It's now 9-5. Hey, game summary brought to you by your local Toyota dealers. 5-10-1 for the Angels, 9-8-0 for the Athletics. So a good offensive game for the A's as they're 3 outs away from a win. Felix Dubron pitched into the 7th inning. Valencia a couple of doubles and 3 RBIs. Canna has a 3-run homer. So bottom of the 8th, Billy Butler leads it off. Cam Bedrosian had a good 7th inning. He went 3 up, 3 down with 2 strikeouts. So he's back out there for his 2nd inning of work.
Especially with some of the calls he was getting on certain pitches.
Well, that's true.
Might as well just stay out there. And at least for the 2 hitters he faced, and Fegley and Smolinski, perfect fastball is the outside corner. He's getting calls with Jung Joyce.
Butler doubled in the 6th. He's 1 for 3. Wilson struck out, hit a fly ball to right field. Like they're trying to pitch Butler inside. Playing him toward right center a little bit. And Butler gets the walk. So another base runner for the Athletics.
Now, fans, 2016 ticket plans are on sale right now. Get on board early. 2016 priority seating and choose your exact seating location for next season. The A's offer a variety of full and partial season plans that qualify for great benefits, including half-price parking, flexible ticket exchange program, and more. For more information, call 510-638-GO-A's or visit athletics.com/2016. And getting a chance to see a pretty good club. Young players getting a chance to see what they can do in an extended season. Continue tomorrow, which is the first day of September.
So Ionetta is going to have a chat with Bedrosian. And now Mike Scioscia's coming out.
Well, you know that slow walk was an indication that it's going to be a pitching change.
So it's going to be Cesar Ramos, the left-hander, to face Reddick. Lefty on lefty. When we come back, A's leading 9-5.
After the A's loaded the bases, he came up with a big 2-run double, and that would make it a 1-run game. Jake Smolinski would follow, but then A's needed another run. Danny Valencia came close to a home run, dropped the panel down, had delay of game because of broken fence, but Valencia with a big RBI double. That would be an unearned run. So Good night for Danny Valencia. Getting it all started, but the A's have scored 9. So just as Bob Melvin would like, score early, score often. 3 of the innings the A's have scored. And trying to do it again in this inning.
So lefty in to face Reddick. Cesar Ramos. Pitcher number 6 tonight for the Angels. Reddick a double, a fly out, and a walk. He has scored a run. Reddick likes the challenge, I think, when the manager of the other team brings in a left-handed pitcher.
Absolutely. Why not? He's done such a good job hitting the lefties, and no exceptions tonight.
Big swing there. Pulled off it quite a bit. Ends. Looks like he will pitch the 9th inning. In the dirt. Simeon to follow here in the 8th. Reddick had a good rip. Butler not being held on at first. Another 2-2. Here it is in the dirt. Rolls away. Butler thought about going. He took about 3 steps, and then he stopped and went back to first. So 3-2.
Secondary lead. Ineta hustling after in case Butler was going to take off to second, and Butler not being held. Let's shut it down. Let's not take any chances.
Bat rolled foul down the first base line.
Lefty.
It's getting late.
Oh, bend your back.
It's getting late.
Got to let Scotty teach you. Got to put the glove on the ground, then come up.
Put it on the ground and work from there.
That's right. He was not expecting it at 10:31.
And a little bit outside, and Reddick walks. 2 on, nobody out. 6 walks now issued by Angels pitchers. They've walked 6 and struck out 10 tonight.
Number 10, Marcus.
A's pitchers have walked 5 and struck out 6.
Hence the 10:31.
Yeah, that's
time
true.
of game.
Doesn't help.
No.
18 total hits in the game.
And a 10-minute broken fence delay.
That's right. We can't forget the broken fence.
Yeah, you have to put that down on your notes for future. That the first time. Oh, 14. Thank you to that. I thought it was 10. It's 14.
Officially 14.
There it is. It's still not even. Oh, none of them are even.
Simeon Betts hits center field. And Ron Washington's going to wave Butler home. And Butler will score. Going around to third was Reddick. And now it's 10-5. So Simeon gets his second hit.
Reddick was almost going to catch Butler. Because Reddick fronted, and Butler with the line drive, and of course Adbar was shading him over towards third base. So this ball clearly up the middle. Look where the ball is hit. So really there's no question that it's going to be a hit. And Mike tried getting the ball. The ball came up. Butler holding up. And then Rob Washington said, big boy, you're going to have to score. And here comes Reddick right behind him. He stopped at third. Butler does make it home.
So still nobody out, and Billy Burns hits for the 5th time. He's 1 for 4. Swinging and a miss. Singled in the 1st, and then a fly ball to center, a ground out to short, and reached on a fielder's choice, and he scored. That was in the 6th inning. He scored on Canna's home run. Swung at a pitch that was down and in. He just got a piece of it. So 0-2 to Burns. Hanger, and Burns fouled it straight back. So now Scribner gets up, so Pomeranz sits down. A's have added on here. Two to Burns. Infield is in for the Angels. Trying not to give up any more. Big curve, and Burns swings and misses, so he is retired. And that's the 1st out.
And he ran to first, but it was occupied, so he could not continue, and stopped on the way. So Mark Canha have a night. The infield will play back. A little bit different situation now that with the speed of Billy Burns and Mark Canha, who has had a good night, especially the 3-run home run in his last at bat.
And it's down around the knees for strike. This is the home run in the 6th.
First all year against a lefty. Fastball. And there was no doubt Alvarez that he crushed it. Mark Canha did. So those short porches at Bellman in right field didn't need it in left field because it was crushed.
It's this one to left center and hits it well. Victorino on the move. Trout on the move, and Trout makes the catch. Plenty deep for a sacrifice fly as Reddick trots home, and it's 11-5. So Mark Canha with a 4 RBI night.
We have seen the ball jump off his bat, but the amazing thing is the carry on a cool night where the ball figures not going to be carrying, but great follow through, opens up and gets the good head part of the bat on the ball, and that's why it almost carried out. Try that on Wednesday afternoon, day game. Get hard. And Mike Trout ran it down.
So Canha now with 54 RBIs on the year. Or a big swing and lines it right over the Angels dugout.
I think he's got to play a lot, don't you think, the last month, huh?
Yeah.
Got 54 driven in. Who knows the type of season he could have in his rookie year.
0-2 now to Brett Lawrie, who has struck out, walked, reached on an error, and struck out. He has scored twice. Lawrie looking for his first hit. Big Ramos curveball, flips it in there. chased a breaking ball, and it's in the dirt. That'll do it for the A's in the bottom of the 8th, but they score a couple more runs, and we're going to the 9th. The A's with an 11-5 lead over the Angels. So 11-5, the A's lead the Angels, and they're 3 outs away from victory number 58 on the year.
He was in Phoenix, wasn't he?
Yes, he was.
He's everywhere.
So Scribner comes in, and he'll face Trout, Pujols, and Cron here in the top of the 9th. So Scribner, 54th appearance. He's been busy this year. 2-2, 4.37 ERA. And he is pitcher number 4 for the Athletics. He's pitched to Trout. A big Scribner curveball. It's in the first round. Trout behind in the count, 0-2. He has walked, grounded out, lined out, and flied out. Scored a run in the first. Curve again, but it's in the dirt, 1-2. Game 2 tomorrow night. Martin for the A's and Shoemaker for the Angels. 7:05 first pitch. And Trout strikes out, and that's out number 1 here in the 9th inning. 7th strikeout for A's pitchers.
Right over the top fastball, and a good one.
Now batting,
Evan Springer. The running fastball seems to be the one that tonight has been difficult for hitters on both sides to hit. And Trout, one of the best hitters, couldn't catch up the fastball away from him.
Now Bob Melvin's coming out. Check on, looks like maybe the pitcher Scribner. Let's see if there's anything on the last pitch he threw.
He threw a very good fastball to finish him. Grayman said he hurt his left side following through.
Sure. Makes sense.
With the oblique. And the way he finished very strongly to the outside part of the plate. And who knows?
Could be any one of those four guys if Scribner comes out.
Pomeranz was throwing, so he seems to be the logical one, at least is close enough to be ready to come in.
So Scribner strikes out Mike Trout, but if we get a report on Scribner, we will let you know. So A's are going to bring in a new pitcher. We'll see who it is.
Angels, and Albert Pujols waiting as Drew Pomeranz gets ready himself. I'll tell you that you can follow the Athletics all season in 2015 with MLB.com at bat, the #1 app for live baseball. At bat is up to the moment, at any moment, with in-game highlights, live look-ins, replay reviews, radio broadcasts, statcast, and much, much more. Get MLB.com at bat for your smartphone or your tablet.
So it is Pomeranz who comes in, and he'll face Pujols and then Cron to try to wrap this up. First pitch to Pujols is a fastball just a little bit high. Pujols tonight walked, 2 singles and a ground out. One of those singles knocked in a run, and he has also scored a run. Bounces this one towards Simeon, who has it, and that's the second out. Pujols 2 for 4 now on the night.
Now batting,
and
number
here's
24,
Cron.
C.J. Cron.
Cron's 1 for 4. RBI single, or make that a single and a run scored in the 3rd inning. Pitch, got a good rip at it. So 0-1. Socha is in charge of a struggling team right now. Angels have lost 8 out of 10.
Well, their road record is just hard to believe.
26 and 38.
And after being swept by the Indians, and now the A's with a big come from behind, at least effort so far, trying to complete it for the win. The Angels still trying to figure it out. You have to think too, starting off the game 3-0 as they did tonight. And with Santiago pitching as well as he did in the first 2 innings, then
well, you got it. You got things are rolling early in your favor. That's for sure.
Yeah. Still waiting for a foul ball. The Angels are in there. Yeah.
Laurie backs up, fires to first, and that's the ball game. So game 1 of the series goes to the Athletics. Mark Canha with 4 RBIs, and another big offensive night for the Athletics. The A's have now won 3 in a row. 3 hours and 43 minutes was time the game tonight. When it's all said and done, a win for the Athletics. Felix Dubron gets his first win as an A. Final score, the A's 11 and the Angels 5. You've been watching Oakland A's baseball on CSN California. It's part of the NBC Sports Group. Don't go away. A's postgame live with Brody Brazil and Shooty Babbitt starts right now.